everybody, Emily Butler Meadows here, and today in this video I'm going to be sharing with you an insight into my personal journey as a beginner trader. So I guess my journey started a couple of years ago. Actually it was when I was working full-time, standard 9-to-5 job back when I lived in New York with my husband. And we'd both been doing this routine of working, you're probably aware, like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, plus overtime, for not the best pay. And we've been doing it for years and paying rent. It's a standard game of life. And we were starting to get really bored of this routine, and I guess we were starting to get really restless and probably a bit worried as well, because we felt like our lives were just becoming this monotonous routine and we were far too free-spirited for that. So in a sense of escape from that, we actually at the time brought an old school bus and converted it into a motorhome with the intention of going travelling and living in it full time. So we thought that this idea of travelling would give us freedom and sort of escape that routine that life had become of living to work, and how our lives would basically evolve to be spent for working full time. And so we converted our motorhome and moved into it and learned that actually it's not something you can really escape unless you're content, I suppose, being homeless. You can't just travel around and escape this idea, because the world is run on money at the moment. That is how the world is run, and to be able to live comfortably in the world, and especially if you want to have a family, money is a necessity, and we learnt that. And so I realised that actually freedom is not found from travelling around, it's actually found from a sense of financial freedom. And that was what I did when we moved on to the bus. As it became very cheap to live, we didn't have very big overheads at all. We managed to live primarily on campsites. So we decided that my husband would work as he was a joiner and that could travel around and bring in the income we needed, and I would study. And I started to learn so much about finance, about passive income, and became fascinated with the idea of how to make lots of money in a short space of time, or how to make that consistent so that we didn't have to sacrifice our entire lives to make the income that we needed to live. And that went on for about a year, where I was exploring these different options, and I was also working part-time doing web development, and I've been doing some blogging as well. And basically that led me to this point where I wasn't quite gaining what I wanted. I wasn't achieving the money that I wanted, and I was spending even more time learning and trying out these ideas without actually getting paid for them, so it didn't really make sense. And then at the time my father-in-law said to me, "Hey, I've just started this trading course with Warrior Trading, and I think you'd really like it. It would take advantage of your digital skills. It might be what you're looking for." So from that point, I actually did some research. I looked into trading because I knew absolutely nothing about it. And this was in June 2018. I was a trading dummy. All I knew was that the stock market existed, and I just presumed it was a game for rich people. So I did some YouTube videos, and I actually joined into some of the free webinars that Warrior Trading was offering. Obviously they're inclined to get you to join on to their course, but they do provide lots of really high quality material in the webinars as well. So I was learning more about that, and the more I did those, the more I actually really got into trading. I started to get really interested in the analytical approach to looking at technical patterns and charts, and the way that you can make money, and you don't have to have a boss, you don't have to go to an office, you don't have to deal with people. I guess I'm a bit of a hermit like that, but any way that you can make money on your own from your own devices at home is great. I tried to do that with the web development, but you still have to deal with people, and it can make it very complicated and time consuming. And my entire goal with this is to make money in a short amount of time, so that I don't have to spend my whole life chasing my tail, running the hamster wheel trying to make money. I just want to enjoy my life, learn things I want to learn, and live it, as I imagine you do as well. But it's this money box that needs ticking, and so it brought me back to trading. And I went away and I thought, okay, this course looks really interesting, but it is about, I think it was about $3,000 at the time, and that was the discounted rate for people who joined the webinar. And I was living on a bus, part-time wage, relying on my husband. I did not have that kind of money, even though the course looked amazing. And then something very synchronistic happened. So literally a few days later, I heard from my father, and my grandparents had actually passed away in the year prior to when this was happening. And I found out that I'd inherited basically the amount of money that was required for this trading course. And I thought, wow, I've got a choice here. Now at the time, obviously I'm living in a bus and I'm thinking I should probably spend this money on something a little bit more substantial, like they would maybe want me to, like a house deposit or something. But I thought, this is really synchronistic. This is the money that I need to do this course, and this course could be my ticket to making money forever for my life. So it took a bit of thinking, and the way that I came to understand it was I related it to university. You see, I did school and I did college and I had pretty good grades, but I never decided to go to university because there wasn't anything there that I was passionate about, and I just could not justify getting years and years worth of debt. For me at the time, I think university fees are about £6,000 a year, and for a 3-year degree, obviously you're looking about 18 grand. Now when I worked this out, I thought this course by Rory Trading is £3,000 for a course. And granted, I'm not expecting to be able to make lots of money instantly after completing this course, but it is a step up to learn about trading. And it is a fraction, it's half of 1 year at university. And most people, unless you're doing something really particular, something academic, quite a lot of people will come out of university and get a standard wage job anyway, but have all that debt. So when I broke it down into this thought pattern, I thought, yes, I'm going to spend this on the trading course and I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to focus on it and I'm going to treat this like my university degree. I'm going to see it through. If I'm going to spend my inheritance money on this course, then I'm going to learn everything I can about it, see it through and not give up. That has been my motivation, to not give up, to be determined to become a consistently profitable trader. As I mentioned before, my initial goal to learn trading, it wasn't actually based on this aspiration, this desire to make lots of riches. I've come across quite a lot of people in the world of trading who think they can become millionaires overnight, or they're doing it because they want the best, fastest car or biggest house. And I mean, I'm not saying these things aren't nice, but they're just things to me. They're not necessarily the most important thing in my life. And for me, my goal with trading, it's about time. It's about being able to make enough money to live a comfortable life without sacrificing all of the time, all of your precious time of your life to achieve it. The strategy that I've learned with Rory Trading enables me to work from 2 till 4, which is obviously my time here in Scotland and the UK. The US stock market, which I trade, opens at 9:30, so it kind of matches up with 9 till 11. So that equates to 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week. For 10 hours a week, I mean, making a full-time wage from that is amazing for me, but the incredible thing with trading is that the most difficult part, I feel, is in the learning and at the beginning getting growing that account. As soon as you start to have that consistency, that ability of making consistent profits over a span of months, enough to qualify that you are becoming a consistently profitable trader, that's when things get exciting, because that's when you can then increase your share size. You see, as a beginner trader, I'm using very small share size. I have a very small account and I'm trying to reduce my risk and build it slowly and build my consistency. Consistency is the most important factor here, more important than profits, because once your consistency grows, then you can start to scale up and go from 1,000 shares to 2,000 shares to 4,000 shares and build this up gradually over time to reduce your risk. But this steady increase of share size will bring a steady increase of profits and losses to be aware of, which is why it's important to have your consistency first. I have a diagram here of a snowball effect chart that I created to give you an idea of what I mean, and it shows the different share sizes and an average sort of trading win. So I think this is based on just an average 20-cent win allowing for 3 wins a week. Well, actually it'd be 4 wins and 1 loss, but the win and the loser cancel each other out, so based on 3 wins per week. And it just gives an idea. It's not a set in stone chart, it's just a glimpse of what can be possible from working from averages. You might make more or less in the shorter days, but the general idea of trading is the long-term approach here, and it just shows what really is achievable with this snowball effect. But the most important factor is the learning, the practicing, the building, the consistency, the patience, the focus. It's quite a lot of it is psychological. Once you actually get the technical analysis down, it's very much psychological. As I mentioned before, in terms of a trader timeline, I'm actually at stage 4. Here's a timeline that I created to give you an idea of what I'm in. There are different stages here, and they range from the complete beginner trader in the learning phase, reading, researching and studying all the technical analysis and all the terminologies used in trading. And then as you progress and grow, you kind of get into simulated trading where you're using paper money, fake money, so that you obviously are taking the risk out of the equation and just practicing strategies. Now I'm at the stage here of survival, so my focus isn't on actually winning, it is on not losing. I am doing my best, utilising focus and discipline and patience to really discern high quality trading potentials. I only want to take the best trades, and I want to focus on cutting my losers quickly, because I'm focusing on surviving. I'm focusing on my small account just not depleting, basically. Once I can consistently keep my head bobbing above this water, then I can start to look around and grow as a trader, and then start to look at how to build my account. But right now it's about keeping that focus on where I am in the present moment. Now, I mentioned before that a lot of trading is based on psychological awareness, and there is an amazing skill that many traders do use, and I have done this prior to trading, but it's also been covered in trading itself, and that is mindfulness meditation. It's an amazing skill, and it can benefit you in all areas of your life, not just for trading, but it is an incredible skill to help with trading, because regular practice of mindfulness, it helps to build an awareness of your emotions, which is essential for trading, because many traders fail when they trade emotions and not technicals. So being aware of your emotions and being able to step back and think, hey, I'm only taking this trade because I'm afraid of missing out, or I'm only taking this because I'm afraid I'm going to lose. They're not good reasons to take a trade. They're emotionally based trades, and they're not acceptable. And that's where mindfulness can help. It helps to discern these qualities and to really take control of yourself with your trading. Mindfulness is also amazing to help build your sense of patience, your focus and your discipline, and these are all so important for trading. So I really do encourage any beginner traders and existing traders out there to really utilise mindfulness. But I'm actually thinking of doing some videos on mindfulness and sharing a little bit more about it, and also some guided practice. So if you're interested in that, do let me know in the comments below. That'd be really cool. So you have an insight into my personal journey as a beginner trader, how I got started, what my intentions and goals are, and where I am currently on that journey. By all means, I am not a master of trading, and I do not proclaim to be a master. I believe that we are always learning, and as long as we always stay in this curious place of learning, then that is probably where true mastery is found, because you're constantly learning from your mistakes and learning from new experiences and growth. Now, because I am a beginner trader in the grand scheme, I've only been doing this for under 2 years, so I am a beginner. I do feel like I can resonate with beginners out there, because I understand how overwhelming it is to come into the stock market, to come into trading. There's so much information and so many videos out there, and quite a lot of them are so quick, and so that they already talk about all the terminology and presume you know it, and it can be quite daunting, or at least it was for me. So I do feel that from this channel I can share some videos and my insight to trading, and help anybody out there who is new to trading, who wants to get into it and learn more. If there's anything you want to learn in particular, let me know in the comments below. I'm thinking of doing some more videos on trading strategies, on tools, chart patterns, also I've mentioned before on mindfulness techniques and other bits, motivation and entrepreneurship. So if you're interested in any of those, do subscribe to this video, and if you found this video interesting and enjoyed it, please like it to help me to grow my channel, and I look forward to catching you in the next video. Thank you, bye.